another parties. Just since everybody introduced themselves, I'll say a little bit about what I've done. I come from a family of educators. We've established 2 universities, some colleges of law, School of Medicine. We have a 300-400 bed hospital. And when I took over, all I did was put up 3 charity schools where everybody's free. Our foundation is in honor of my parents. Benita is still alive and well. She's 90 years old. I play mahjong with her every Sunday. And I'm happy that she's still the dean of one of our graduate schools. I have a very useful foundation. When I set it up many years ago, my idea was, suppose I become a foundation that helps create institutions. So let me tell you about 4 institutions we have established. I invited Elida Demora, who used to be the executive director of PSPI, to my house many years ago, and we organized TPKI. It is the largest microfinance organization in Region 3, and from a few thousand pesos, we have over 200 million in paid-up. So it was organized in my house. I organized the Kapampangan Development Foundation. This year it was recognized by the Rotary Club of Makati as one of the top NGOs. I worked with Marietta Gopo to organize the People's Credit and Finance Corp. The 2 of us made sure that that microfinance body in the Philippines was organized. So I'm the guy who incorporated it. And finally, we organized the National Folk Artist Awards, or the Gawal sa Manilikanang Bayan, which brought indigenous arts and crafts at the level of Western arts. And our foundation and I were the ones who submitted the bill to Congress and worked on it in the Senate. I have never done a closing remarks. Lisa is a dangerous person and very persuasive. Now she must suffer through my closing remarks. Last August, I decided that one of the schools I owned, St. Lucian College, will be converted into a social enterprise as part of our Golden Jubilee or 50th year celebration. I was actually with my parents when we organized it in 1966. We have no idea what we're doing, but in the next 14 months, the entire school with its 20,000 plus alumni will become a social enterprise. And we have identified how we will do this, but we're not sure. So I was happy to come here actually, Lisa, and listen to all these wonderful experiences. And the confusion that my NUS friend mentioned is exactly my state of mind at the present time. From my point of view, I learned a few things this morning, which I would like to summarize. Mr. Lotikul, to me, mentioned 2 things that I was interested in. By the way, I was doing work in Thailand when Mr. Michay, was running condom bursting competitions, which shocked the hell out of me.
Because he's Catholic?
No, on TV and so on, he would go to the middle of the red light district and talk to these people, and I would see this. Well, I'm a little bit taller than him, I think. And I thought, my God, in 1970-71, I did research with the Population Commission. That's a long time ago. And I thought that, oh, this guy is doing it the right way. That's why Do Secretary, the late Senator from here, was my idol. Because he made complicated things very simple. And I thought this morning what came out was that those of us interested in social enterprise have the same challenge, to find a way to make social enterprise sexy, while still making a business case. I was teaching entrepreneurship at De La Salle's graduate school in I don't know. I know it was more than 30 years ago. And my challenge was, what is entrepreneurship? So today our challenge is, what is social entrepreneurship? So Mr. Lotikul mentioned two things I like. This is business and there are sustainability issues. Mr. Juwaini said, I mean, journalists putting up something. Have you ever heard of something so crazy? I mean, I thought that was crazy. Congratulations. I thought journalists were only concerned with other things. But he mentioned they have branches because of domestic workers. So the lesson for us is follow your market. Be where your market is. There was a question from our friends from, is it Korea? Yes, the young lady over there. I am not doing my glasses, so you're young lady. We talk about this engagement. Now mind you, I have an NGO, I have a foundation whose only interest is to help other NGOs become better than us. And we will do what is necessary to help. We run a consulting enterprise, retired partners like me from Pricewaterhouse and so on. You can call us. Our firm is called Consulting and Business Services for Social Enterprises. Past presidents of labs, people who have worked in every country in Asia, they're there. Of course, the average age is a little bit. Well, you know, we have this card that gives discounts. But once in a while, when we're not knocking in the afternoon, we can do some good stuff. Yes. But you can call us for a camp. We actually run a lot of camps. If you have people with ideas, we will run an idea camp and help them see if their ideas are worthwhile as social enterprises. We have another camp, which is called the Project Development and Review Camp. You have a proposal, or you have something you want to do, come to us. But we're brutal. More than 99% fail. Why? What I understood from our friends from Indonesia is that it is still a business, and therefore we must be as strict as anybody else making a business decision. You can come to one of our 3 fund matching camps. If you're interested, you have an NGO. We have for small businesses, we have a camp with New Zealand money. We have another camp that's crowdfunding. We have a camp involving bigger financial and more organized institutions. Take them. They should leave us. They should go with those who can create the capability that I heard this morning. Share with other people. Work together. Except I think you have to be strong. If you're organizing something I understood from what Ms. Yere was saying, if you're just putting up something because you have a good heart and you want to help people, you probably will fail. If you organize something because you just want to redistribute, make sure that you're coming from a perspective where you have solid fundamentals. That's what I understood from Mr. Bamba. I am sorry I did not hear his talk the other day. I wish I was here. But I'm sure there will be tapes and notes, and I look forward to receiving them. So when I look at these 4 gentlemen, and ladies, I was going to say lady, but ladies, kasi nakialam si Benita as she gave her comment. I realized that although we did not answer the topic of this session, the session's topic is social enterprises for building back better, significant practices in rehabilitation and resilient neighborhoods. Livelihoods. Well, I hope you have resilient communities. Although we didn't answer that, we learned something today. There are many ways to do social enterprise. From my limited perspective, I've only been doing this more than 30 years. It doesn't matter to me. What matters is that you have your social impact organized, you have a business case, and once in a while, like Mr. Juwaini there, you may want to give it up and disengage, which I think is wonderful. Nobody says that people we help should be our daughters and sons forever. Like our daughters and sons, they do grow up and remind us that there's this world that we may not be as familiar with. And I think that's the challenge. That's the true challenge. When do you continue? When do you revise? When do you modify? So I read that there's this pro-well research. I'm happy research is being done. Please take note of what was mentioned in that other question earlier, which was great. The gentleman over there asked, how do you measure what you're doing? And I think most of us forget that. We must have measurable output. We must be humble enough to accept when there is a better way of doing it. So I'd like to sum up by saying there was a lot of discussions on the role of government. For us older people, I think the nice phrase is, beware of what you ask for. You may just get it. When you're small and struggling, when you need the help of government, it is wonderful to ask the government for help. But when you're reaching another level, you begin to ask, what is the true role of government? I heard the senator mention 7 bills, and I was aghast. But I know he's coming from a good place. So, for me, and I am an entrepreneur in my small way, with no social impact this business. I worry when government thinks they know more than me as to what is needed to do business. This session has brought out different competing ideas. And whether you're in Vietnam, with a different government structure, or with a new president in Indonesia, which has a very populist approach, I like him walking in water. I wish all politicians would do that. And if they get sick, good. The average person has to address. And the person that all of us are trying to help. So that's role of government. But I caution everyone on removing the middleman. The senator and I, times we talk, I've always said, not because I'm Chinese, because that's only by blood. I'm Filipino, inside and outside. I did not join the first quarter storm because I was Chinese. Filipinos know what I'm talking about. The middleman, however, is necessary. Even in all the developed countries where the micro, pocket, small and medium businesses represent 80% or whatever of their structure, there are always middlemen. The people, well, hopefully they don't grease things, which sometimes they do, but the people who make things happen. When we want a direct connection between producers and consumers, I think we should think carefully as to whether it is appropriate to remove all middlemen. Visualize an economy with no middlemen. I can't. If you can, you're certainly much better than I am. I also wanted to share with you something I read in the newspaper this morning from Business World on the Masika program. Did you read it yet? See, in 1974, when Father George Piron was starting it together with King Paterno, they had this crazy idea that they could get grant. Please pray for him. He was a good man. He used to visit me, I don't know why, in the province. And we would try to solve all the problems in the world. We never succeeded. But we enjoyed coffee together. And I think that is the last lesson that is here. This dialogue must continue beyond conferences. You don't really learn from, these experts talk. You learn from sharing. And to our future sharing, let's enjoy lunch and good morning.